Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Danielle and I'm the owner of Damn Fancy Creations and the Drunk Flamingo. In today's tutorial, we're going to be using two more patterns from August Flock Box. If you guys did not grab this box, the patterns are available on the site for individual purchase. If you guys know me or have followed me for a while, you will know that fall is my favorite season. So I love making fall tumblers. I just love all of the colors and the patterns that go together. So this is another fall tumbler. In this tutorial, I am also going to be using double-sided tape. I used to use double-sided tape all the time back when I was first starting out as a tumbler maker for things like serapes or stripes. And I have been kind of bringing back some techniques that I used to use a lot in the past. So I figured, why not break out the double-sided tape in case there are crafters out there that may not have used this before. Everything you see listed here will be covered in today's tutorial, but if you guys have any questions, please just ask below and I will come back and answer them. And before we start this tutorial, make sure that you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any upcoming tutorials. And don't forget to check out the description where I list all items needed to recreate this tumbler, as well as discount codes from my favorite suppliers. All right, y'all, let's get into it. Alright y'all, so here are the items we're going to be using today. This is a 16-ounce travel mug from the Tipsy Magnolia, and these are the two patterns. I just really love these little mushrooms, and I think the leaf pattern goes good with these colors. Both of these are available for individual purchase on my website, thedrunkflamingo.com. So first we're going to make our little template. I usually just make my own if I'm just going to be wrapping it around. I will say, make sure that your vinyl is turned right side up. We don't want to be cutting the pattern upside down. So basically, I'm just marking the height of my tumbler with a Sharpie. And after I do the top part of the tumbler, I'm going to grab my other sheet of pattern vinyl, and then we're going to mark the section that's going to be on the bottom. And then I'm just going to take these to my paper cutter and we're just going to cut them out. So here are my two little sections. I have the larger section, which is going to go on top, and then the smaller section, which is going to go on the bottom. So I am just going to use the hinge method. We're going to pull back a little bit of our backing, trim it, so this vinyl can act as a hinge as we wrap our tumbler, and make sure that we get it lined up correctly. If my tumbler did not have a handle, I would also use my cup cradle. This one is from Beige Boutique. We do have a discount code down below, but I would use that cup cradle to draw a straight line on my tumbler. But since this tumbler has handles, it's a little bit easier to get straight. So I am just wrapping the vinyl around, and then I'm going to trim off a little section of it. And then I'm going to cut a little slit where the handle is. And once I have it just down a little bit, I like to take a blade and we're just gently cutting around that handle. And I do this really slow. This video is sped up just a little bit. But I just cut around that handle part a little bit so that that vinyl will lay flat. And then when I cut all the way around the handle, I just peel off that little extra piece of vinyl. So after I have my bottom little handle piece done, I'm going to do the exact same thing to the top part. We're just going to smooth it down and trim that little piece around the handle, and just go slow and do it. You don't want to mess it up. And then we're just going to line that piece of vinyl up with the vinyl on the other side. After my vinyl is all smooth, I'm going to take my edging tool from Beige Boutique and edge my vinyl so we get a nice, smooth, even rim. And the edging tool I'm using is the low profile edging tool. This is the perfect tool for tumblers with handles. You don't have any section of the edging tool that's going to get in the way of the handle, so you can turn the cup around perfectly. I always keep the low profile edging tool on the lowest setting, which is perfect for the top part of the tumbler. And then my other edging tool, which is their original edging tool, I keep on the second setting, which is perfect for the bottom of the tumblers. So after we have our top part complete, we're going to work on the bottom section. So again, I just peeled off a little bit of the backing, and I'm just wrapping this around to see if it matches correctly. If not, you can just readjust until you get a nice match. And once I have it lined up correctly, I'm just going to kind of wrap this around. I was kind of adjusting as I go. I think that this was tapered just a little bit, so I was having to kind of pull it a little bit to get it to lay down a little straighter. So then again, when I get to my edge, I'm just going to trim this off. And if you guys know me, you know that I like to try to disguise my seams. So I'm just going to cut out this bigger leaf, and we're just going to apply that right over the seam. I did not disguise the seam on the top part because it was kind of right where the handle was, and it is a little bit more of a busy pattern, so you can't really tell where the seam is anyway. But for patterns like this where it is a little bit more obvious, I will try my best to disguise it. So I am just laying down the edge of the vinyl. I'm just kind of folding it over the edge with my heat gun so that it makes it easier to cut with my edging tool. So I'm going to grab my other edging tool, which is on the second setting, and we're going to edge the bottom rim. And then I'm going to peel this off, and now we have a nice, smooth, even bottom rim. And the puppies are barking at something. I don't know what it is. And there's our little leaf disguise. So now that we have our vinyl on, we're going to get our double-sided tape. This is 3M double-sided tape. This is the same double-sided tape that I have used since probably 2016. I think I've only had to purchase it twice, and it does come in multiple sizes. I usually just get the multi-pack, and for today's tutorial, we are going to be using one of the thicker lines. So we're just going to start wrapping this double-sided tape. I did not measure where this is gonna line up. If you guys have watched my tutorials in the past, you know I just kind of eyeball stuff. So I'm just going to wrap 3 pieces of this tape, and I'm wrapping 2 of them, and then I'm just going to put 1 in the center. And I'm just going to kind of eyeball the placement of them until I'm happy with it. And the second one did end up going kind of through the handle. And the colors that I have right now are Colorado Campfire, Grinch-ish, and then cinnamon maple whiskey sour. Ugh, I cannot speak right now. I did end up switching the orange for a thicker cut. This was an extra fine, and I wasn't crazy with how it looked next to the regular fine cut glitter. So I did go back and change it to Wild West. That way they were all three the same cut of glitter and had the same amount of definition. And I will say, I only use double-sided tape for glitters that are opaque. If you try to use a translucent glitter or an opal glitter or something like that, then the vinyl or the color that is underneath the double-sided tape will show through. So just be mindful of your glitter choices when you are applying it with a double-sided tape. So basically we're just going to pour on the glitter and then kind of burnish that glitter into the tape. And then I'm going to take a fluffy makeup brush and we're just going to brush off any excess. And then I'm just going back right now, any little blank spaces that I see, I'm just kind of rubbing some more glitter into the tape. So now we're going to go in with our second color. And if you guys have not used double-sided tape before, you're basically just sticking it on the tumbler and then you're peeling off the backing. So the back of the tape is sticky and then the top of the tape is sticky. So this is Colorado Campfire. I love this. It's like a marigold yellow. It's a mixture of 3 different glitters. This is still available on Cami Page Boutique's website. And then we're going to do Grinch-ish. So as soon as I put the Grinch-ish on, I was like, I do not like this extra fine orange next to these thicker cut glitters. I thought that the thicker cut just had more definition and it was more sparkly. So I decided just to pick out a different burnt orange. So this is Wild West. It's like a burnt orange. It does have a little bit of blue in it as well. And I just went over the orange that I applied with a little bit of glitter glue. And this is the glitter glue from Artistry. I've had it forever. It is the only glitter glue I've used, and I really like it. But there are other glitter glues out there. So we just poured that on. And then I decided to use another darker green for the divide of the top half and the bottom half. This is Emerald City. It is one of my favorite greens. This is also one of Rachel Cole's favorite. So again, we're just going in with the glitter glue right over that stainless. And again, just be mindful what glitter you're using, because if this was a translucent glitter, then the stainless would show through that glitter. But since Emerald City is an opaque color, you're not going to get a lot of that stainless that shows through, if any at all. So then we're just going to sprinkle on that glitter. And once this glitter glue dries, I'm going to brush it off really well and seal it with Rustoleum 2 times. And I totally forgot to film me glittering the handle. I don't know what I was thinking. I just totally forgot. But I basically just put glitter glue on the handle and poured some gold glitter on it. It's pretty simple, but after everything was dried and sealed, I put 2 coats of epoxy on it, and then we will be ready for pinstripes. And we're also going to use this decal. I thought it went super cute with the mushroom vinyl. And if you guys did not know, I do have a PinStripe file on thedrunkflamingo.com. It is a digital file that has my most used sizes, which are 0.07, 0.05, and 0.03. And when I print pinstripes, I like to print a full sheet of every color. That way I have lots of colors to choose from and sizes in case I want size variation on a cup or to layer pinstripes. So I am just going to start wrapping these around, just kind of putting them right on the edge of the glitter. And I like to use like a naked blade without the casing to cut my pinstripes. Sometimes when I try to cut pinstripes with the blade in the housing, the actual handle kind of gets in the way and you just don't get a good cut. And I just decided to use gold for these pinstripes just because I thought it went well with all of the colors, and just when I think of fall, I just think of like those golden tones, and I thought this went well together. So we are just going to wrap all of these pinstripes. And then we are also going to outline the green section with the gold pinstripe as well. And I will say that on sections that may have an angle, such as the green section, it's always better to use thinner pinstripes, because the thinner the pinstripe is, the more kind of flexible it is. Sometimes if you use a thicker pinstripe, then it wrinkles a little bit more and you can't get it to lay flat as well. So we are just going to wrap the last section and that will be it. Sometimes with metallic vinyl especially, I like to put a little bit of UV resin on the edges of my pinstripes and cure it. That way when I put a layer of epoxy on, those pinstripes will not lift, because I'm sure we have all been there where we get a cup that looks perfect and then the pinstripes lift under epoxy. A lot of times regular sealer, like a polyacrylic, does not work very well. So the UV resin or either clear UV nail gel polish will also work and just keep those pinstripes held down really well. And after I have my pinstripes on, and if you want to add UV resin, sometimes I just add heat with my heat gun. Then I will take this back outside to my turner and apply 2 more coats of epoxy. Anytime I have decals or pinstripes, I always like to apply 2 coats of epoxy. And I almost forgot that we didn't add the decal yet. Duh. Okay, so once I have my pinstripes on, I'm going to trim the top edges so we get that nice smooth edge. And then we're going to apply the decal, and then we will go epoxy. And I almost did not want to put a decal on it because it looked so pretty, but I decided to go ahead and use it because I do really like this decal. So I'm just going to peel it off and we're just going to center it and smooth it down. I always like to apply my decals from the center and then smooth out one side and then smooth out the other side. So now we will go put epoxy on it, and after your epoxy has cured, this is the finished product. I'm really happy with this little tumbler. It would be perfect for a coffee mug or just a little tumbler on the go. I think it's so cute. If you guys have used any of the patterns from August Flock Box, please post them in the group because I love to see what you guys come up with. If you enjoyed this tutorial or learned something new, please be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to catch the next video coming up that was picked just for you. As always, if you're looking for more tips, tricks, or tutorials, be sure to check out my tutorial group on Facebook or my Drunk Flamingo group. Both are linked in the description. Thanks for watching.